Today, we're going to discuss the 2026 Kawasaki Z900RS Café. And if you think it's just a minor update, like a new color or different decals, you might be quite surprised by the direction things are starting to take. First, let's talk about its identity. The Z900RS Café has always been the sportiest version of the Z900RS family. It draws inspiration from classic racing bikes from the 70s with a small front fairing, a slightly more aggressive riding position, and a look that instantly recalls legendary cafe racers. But what makes this bike special isn't just its looks. Beneath that retro styling lies a very lively modern engine. The 948cc inline-4 engine that powers the Z900RS remains one of the most enjoyable machines in its class. It delivers strong power, quick throttle response, and the distinctive Kawasaki four-cylinder sound always manages to put a smile on the face of the rider every time the throttle is opened. For 2026, the engine will reportedly receive minor refinements, not to drastically increase power, but to make its response smoother and more efficient in line with the latest emissions regulations. Now let's take a look at the design. At first glance, the 2026 Z900RS Café may still look very familiar. The classic tank, clean body lines, and signature small front fairing are all retained, but a closer look reveals several details that feel more modern. Sharper LED headlights, cleaner component finishes, and possibly bolder new color options. What's interesting is how Kawasaki maintains a balance between nostalgia and technology. The analog speedometer with a small digital display in the center is likely to remain, as that's what gives this bike its authentic feel. Now, let's talk about the riding experience, because this is where the Z900RS Café has always shone. The seating position is slightly more forward than the standard Z900RS due to the use of clip-on handlebars. This gives the rider a sportier cafe racer feel without tiring quickly. For both casual city rides and winding road riding, this position feels just right, not too extreme, but enough to provide a strong sense of control. The suspension is also one of this bike's strengths. The upside-down front fork and adjustable rear suspension provide a good combination of comfort and stability. For 2026, it's possible Kawasaki will retune the bike to make it more stable at high speeds without sacrificing comfort on the road. For 2026, the most surprising change might not be a single major feature, but rather how Kawasaki has refined this already very strong package. They don't seem to want to change the successful formula. Instead, they've refined every detail to keep the bike relevant in the increasingly crowded retro motorcycle market. While many manufacturers are now trying to enter the neo-retro segment, the Z900RS Café still has one major advantage: balance. It's not just beautiful to look at, it's also incredibly fun to ride. Imagine heading out in the morning, starting the engine, and hearing that four-cylinder roar to life. You're cruising down a city street in classic style that turns heads, then find a winding road outside of town and start to open the throttle a little deeper. The bike transforms from relaxed to sporty without feeling forced. That's the appeal of the Z900RS Café. So, does the 2026 Z900RS Café really bring major changes? Maybe not a total revolution, but that's precisely what surprised many. While many bikes are drastically changing for the sake of new technology, Kawasaki chose to refine a classic recipe already loved by its fans. And sometimes, small changes, executed well, can make a bike feel even more special. Now I'd like to know your thoughts. If the 2026 Z900RS Café came with design refinements, slightly more modern technology, but still retained its classic character, would that be enough? Or were you hoping for something more radical? Because one thing is for sure, in the increasingly futuristic world of modern motorcycles, the Z900RS remains a reminder that classic style never truly goes out of style.